This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 1233, Envisioned, by Colin Wright of ExileLifestyle.com, and I'm Justin Malik. Happy Saturday. Welcome to one of the only podcasts in the world where blogs are narrated to you for free. That's with permission from the authors. And today's post comes from Colin Wright, an amazing writer and podcaster more recently. He's always traveling, on tour right now. You can check that out at ExileLifestyle.com. And you can even do a talk at your home. So come by his site for info, but for now, let's get right to it and start optimizing your life. Envisioned, by Colin Wright of ExileLifestyle.com. With as much detail and precision as possible, describe your ideal lifestyle. This is what I asked myself to do back in 2009 when I first allowed myself to think about a world beyond my business, beyond LA, beyond the goals I've been chasing my entire adult life. And this was a necessary ask because at that moment, I didn't really know what my ideal lifestyle was. I knew there was travel involved, and I knew that I didn't want to maintain the breakneck professional pace I'd been keeping for the preceding few years. But beyond that, much fuzziness, vagueness, a lot of not this and not much this, which is a problem if you're hoping to actually move towards something rather than just moving away from something else. It's useful to know where you don't want to be, what you don't want to be doing with your time. But unless you want a chance ending up somewhere equally non-ideal or perhaps even someplace worse, it's prudent to at least determine in which direction you should be walking. And the more accurately you can calibrate your compass, the more specific you get, the more direct your path to your intended destination will be. It's this thought process that resulted in me getting rid of almost everything I owned, scaling down my business to something I could run from my laptop, and beginning to travel full time, which turned out to be one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. I found myself making the same internal request for clarity not long ago. I've enjoyed this most recent, more geographically tethered juncture of my journey, but I'm also ready for what comes next. Unfortunately, aside from something different than what I've been doing these last 2 years, I hadn't figured out what my next step should be with any specificity. So I took a couple of days to just dream, to imagine what life might look like if I could have all the things I wanted, to envision the specifics of that dream, even if they didn't seem like elements I'd be able to cram together into one cohesive lifestyle. Then I got to work making the resultant, cobbled together vision a tangible reality. I wanted to travel, but also to continue to enjoy some of the benefits of having a home base I've come to love these past 2 years. I wanted to have my guitar and keyboard, my cooking vessels and oven in which to put them, a consistent bed, and a really cozy duvet. I wanted to maintain my beloved workout routine and eating habits, and to continue producing my podcast each week. I wanted to be able to keep improving upon these models while also elevating a few of my professional pursuits to the next level. I wanted to ensure I can make positive lifestyle adjustments alongside positive career adjustments. I also very much wanted to get back out into the world to meet up with folks who read and listen to my work and who might be interested in some of the things I'm keen to share and talk about. And I was determined to make all of this happen without resorting to a lifestyle model I've tried before. I knew, for instance, that I could probably set up a home base somewhere and spend half my time there, half on the road, living out of my carry-on bag. But I've done both of those things before, explored those lifestyle models, and I felt like predicating my next steps on reliable knowns rather than venturing into the unknown would make me more comfortable, but would also stymie my growth. My current plan, to tour North America in a motorhome, performing a speaking tour along the way, took a surprisingly long while to bubble up as a possibility, despite all the time I spent letting these next step preferences percolate. The combination of moving to a new location every 2 weeks, exploring the area, giving a few talks, meeting some new people, and then moving on, makes perfect sense to me in retrospect. But even with all the pieces there, having imagined a life with all of these elements somehow yoked together, I still needed to spend some time with them. I needed to get a sense of the scope of the thing before I could amalgamate them into something meaningful and before I could plan out something that might actually emulsify rather than remaining a jumble of disparate ingredients. Realizing when something needs to change and allowing yourself to consciously acknowledge that fact is important. Taking your first step toward accomplishing the goal you set as your new ideal situation is also critical. But don't neglect that middle step of envisioning what could be, of shuffling all the pieces around, sorting them out, getting a sense of how they could work, so you can be more certain that what you're putting together is something you truly, passionately want to make a reality. You just listened to the post titled Envisioned by Colin Wright of ExileLifestyle.com. That vision did turn into a reality. He's currently on tour. You can check that out at ExileLifestyle.com. And if you'd like to help keep me going, if you can share this show, it would mean a lot. Online, in person, anywhere helps. And you can always direct them to oldpodcast.com or show them how to subscribe on their phone. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being here and listening every day, including the weekends. And I'll be back tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.